and gentlemen, welcome to a video where I am going to be giving you my most disliked NFL player on every NFL team from the point that I started watching football, which is a little over 10 years ago. Figured I'd do this video today because it's a little bit different. It sounds like fun. It sounds like something you guys can have fun and interact with. So before, as always, we got a couple of quick plugs. First off, don't forget to use code WW10 to save yourself a discount on any of Waggle's awesome products, but also don't forget to use code WyattzWorld at sign up on Prize Picks to guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 entry. But as always, please remember to play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Okay, folks, so here we are at the tier list. I mean, I say it like that because this is more so just for me to keep track of the teams. But it looks like we're going to be starting with the AFC East today and ending with the NFC West. And kicking off this list is none other than my own team, the Buffalo Bills. And my most disliked player in the Buffalo Bills since I've been watching, you know, it kind of varies. I know who it is, but there is some heavily disliked players. Kiar Elam is one of them. Watching that man in a one-on-one situation is like playing blackjack and the dealer flips over an ace. Like, you knew you were fucked. Really didn't like Mac Hollins last year. I was vocal about that. I thought he was just a tool. Nathan Peterman obviously was a headache, but my most disliked Bills player has got to be Richie Incognito. If anybody remembers him, he was a guard. Just an absolute asshole, a prick. Hazed players, said racial comments. He was just a horrible person to have on your team. He was a decent player, but a bad dude. Next up, we have the Dolphins, and I mean, I could have said Richie for this too, but he was kind of an easy layup for my own team, so actually I'm gonna go Ndamukong Suh here. I don't really have anything against Dolphin players. I don't love Tua. I obviously didn't like Mike McDaniel, but for the most part, I don't have that many negative experiences with them. And Ndamukong Suh, I mean, he's just a known dirty ass player. Now we got the Patriots. This one's Tom Brady. I mean, nothing against Tom. I like Tom. Just everything against the fact that he kicked the Bills' ass pretty much every single time I watched them play. I don't actually know if I ever watched the Bills beat Tom Brady. I think I did once, if I remember. It was a lousy fucking game too, but I want to say, unless it's a fever dream, I saw him defeat him one time. Now we got the Jets, probably Le'Veon Bell. He was such a douchebag when he went there, man. That entire thing with him just made him so much more unlikable than he already was when he left Pittsburgh. Cause a scene, then play like shit, then try and get out of that contract too, and then just stir up more trouble until you're dropped. And don't get me wrong, Adam Gase is right next to him. I hated Adam Gase too. I should probably honestly put him in here. Now we have the Ravens. This is a pretty obvious layup here, Ray Rice. Dude, I remember when that happened because I was like right when I started watching football, and that was like my introductory to the Baltimore Ravens at the time, and I was just like, holy shit. If anybody doesn't know why I don't like Ray Rice, just go look up Ray Rice once. It'll probably be the first video that pops up. Inexcusable. Now we have the Bengals. This is Eli Apple, 100%. I hate him. I don't even really have to think about that. I still hate Eli Apple. Absolute cocky, tone-deaf, insensitive prick. One of the biggest mults in NFL history too, and such an average, mediocre player. Saying Cancun on 3 after, you know, the DeMar Hamlin incident. Well, it wasn't the same game, but later that year. Go fuck yourself. Now we move on to Cleveland. Deshaun Watson. That's not really a thinker either. Pretty much a layup, if I'm gonna be honest. I mean, is anybody a fan of him? He's a creep. He's a bad person. He shouldn't be in the league. Now moving on, we have the Steelers. This one, I mean, it's pretty much a toss-up. I'm gonna go with either Juju or Chase Claypool, but Ben Roethlisberger's in there too. I really don't like Ben. I never have. I just don't think Ben is a good guy at all. While Juju and Chase were just douchebags. Just loudmouth cringe magnets, dancing on the logos, posting TikToks, getting asked to stop, still doing it, getting your ass kicked. Remember Chase's awesome celebration versus the Vikings? That was great. Now moving on, we have the Texans, and this will be the most random one on the list. I have a reason for this, and this is going to be a great name pull for Texan fans, too. My most hated Texan of all time is Alfred fucking Blue. Bro, this guy was a backup running back to, like, Lamar Miller. Occasionally, you know, he'd fill in if he was hurt or get some extra touches, but he did nothing usually. And then I played him once, and he threw up 140 fucking yards and a touchdown. I think it was in, like, 2015 or some shit. I'm still pissed about it. He fucking lost me a week in fantasy. Why my opponent started him? Who knows? Fuck you, Alfred Blue. Now we got the Colts. Probably Anthony Richardson. I think he's lazy. I think he's immature. I think he's careless. I just don't think he's good. Now we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you know, I would say like Blake Bortles or something, but I didn't hate Blake Bortles. He was just terrible. He was at least entertaining and he was a pretty likable dude. I would say Leonard Fournette because I think he's like the most overrated running back ever, but probably gonna have to go with Jalen Ramsey. Guy's always just been a cocky prick, even though he has the right to. He's like a guaranteed Hall of Famer. Titans, give me Derrick Henry. Don't get me wrong, I love Derrick Henry. I fucking hated playing him. Threw Josh Norman across the field multiple times, made the Bills look like assholes. Bengals. Also, the first time he ever went off against Jacksonville, like in what was it, 2014, 15? Like a 3-touchdown, 140-yard game. He was sitting on my bench because he wasn't doing shit. He was sitting behind Deion Lewis. Now we have the Denver Broncos. This is a toss-up here between a couple of them. You got Melvin Gordon, who I thought was just the biggest douche in the world when he went there. You have Jerry Jeudy, obviously a very unlikable player, but probably, honestly, and this guy's very good too. Was very good. He hasn't played in a long time, but Aqib Talib. He was the definition of a pot stirrer. Any chance he got to piss someone off, he was doing it. One of the best trash talkers in the game. Wasn't he also the chain snatcher too, or was that Crabtree? Now we're on to Kansas City. That's Pat Mahomes. Honestly, not a thinker there either. Nothing against the guy. I think Pat Mahomes is a pretty cool dude. A matter of fact, if he came to my door and is like, hey man, my truck's broken down, I'd be like, okay, come on, I'll make you a steak and let's have some beers and talk about the trauma you've caused me. But again, like Tom Brady, it's the fact that this guy has basically been the reason that the Bills haven't won the Super Bowl, other than the fact that we just can't get it done in the playoffs by itself, but he's ruined my life. Now we have the Raiders, Vontaze Burfict. I know I probably should have used him for the Bengals, but honestly, the last time I ever saw Vontaze Burfict play was in a Raider uniform when he tried to pretty much kill Jack Doyle. One of the most unnecessary, maybe even the most unnecessary hits I have ever seen. Now we have the Chargers, and this one will be Melvin Gordon because I think he set probably the worst possible fucking example of what to do after you have a good season in the NFL. This guy thought he was the greatest thing to walk the earth. Decided to hold out, realized he wasn't getting what he wanted, came back and played, and then pretty much just started to suck until he was out of the league. Now we've got Dallas. Mine's Zeke Elliott. I hated prime Zeke. I mean, gosh, he was a little fucking prick. Great running back, phenomenal running back, but oh, did I hate him. Now we have the Giants, and this one's, this one's kind of a toss-up. Shockingly, I don't have anything against Odell. I was an Odell fan. Kenny Golladay is definitely a contender for it. I think when he went there, he was arguably one of the biggest tools in the league, and he was just horrible and blamed everybody but himself, but I would probably have to go with Kadarius Toney here. Dude, he was just insane. He was so egotistical, wasn't a nice guy, didn't appreciate shit. Like, I thought he really pissed his career away before it even began. Now we have the Eagles. This might be a weird one, but Jalen Mills, he's still in the league, I think, but he was a DB for them for many years. The only reason I have a vendetta or a hatred against this guy is because the Vikings seem to have played Philadelphia about every single year during that tenure. They still seem to play him quite often. In every single fucking game, this man would be involved in some sort of trash talking with the Vikings player, it seemed like. And also every time there's some sort of, stir up and people would shove and push each other, this guy would come flying in like he was gonna do something as if he didn't weigh 190 fucking pounds. He always struck me as a fake tough guy. Now we got Washington. This is Dan Snyder. I know he was the owner, whatever. He still technically was a commander. What kind of owner doesn't want to see their team succeed? What kind of owner doesn't want to invest into their team to make them better? Like, he was literally the devil. He was like the movie Major League, when the Cleveland Guardians were owned by those people and they didn't want them to succeed, so they were purposely just trying to tank them all the time, and then they were pissed when they started doing good. That was basically Dan Snyder and the Commanders. Now we have Chicago, and this guy I was gonna use for Green Bay, but I don't know of any Bears that I truly disdain off the top of my head, so we're gonna go Martellus Bennett. For anybody who doesn't remember him, he was a tight end in the league until, I don't know, 2018 maybe? And he was pretty much a Richie Incognito of the tight ends. Just an absolute bully. Now we got the Lions, Matt Patricia. I think Detroit will agree with me on that. I mean, I don't even have anything against Detroit players, really. Golden Tate, I wasn't a fan of, but he was a fucking beast. Nobody's gonna deny that. Matt Patricia, he literally was, well, to put it in the best ways possible, Adolf Hitler. Now we have the Packers, Clay Matthews. Could say Rodgers, but I have respect for Aaron Rodgers, and I do have respect for Clay, but I always found myself way more fucking irritated when I saw Clay succeed than Rodgers. He would really rub it in your fucking faces, man. He was a taunter. Now we've got the Vikings. This one's tough. I mean, it could be the quarterback we have right now. Got Alexander Madison a few years ago. Charles Johnson, he was a receiver many years ago. He was fucking horrible. 2x4s for arms. Drew Samea, one of the worst guards I've ever seen play in the history of the NFL. Obviously, Laquan Treadwell was atrocious, but I'm probably gonna go with a hometown favorite here and say Christian Ponder. Dude, that guy was just fucking useless. And I had never seen collectively an entire state fucking hate their own quarterback like they did with him. Now we have the Falcons. This is kind of a hard one for me because I always kind of liked the Falcons. I would probably have to say Devontae Freeman just because I thought he sucked. Thought he was kind of a Melvin Gordon, a guy that had a year or two that were, pretty decent, and then all of a sudden thought he was the greatest thing ever. And typically what they say, and I guess it would correlate pretty well with the NFL, is the second that you think you've made it is the beginning of the end because he just started to suck. Now we got the Panthers, Cam Newton. That's probably a pretty universal one. Cam Newton, whether, some of the things he says nowadays are true or some of the things are outlandish, the guy was probably one of the most arrogant players I have ever watched. I will admit, rookie Cam was a different breed, but man, he was a douche. Now we have the Saints. Michael Thomas, easily probably one of the most unlikable NFL players in the history of the league. Sure, he was great. Sure, he had a great little prime. The guy also just ran the same route 400 times a year and was the only one on his team who got targets. The biggest ego I have ever seen, probably for sure, after that 1 year with Breeze. It was intolerable. Now we have the Bucks, Brashad Perriman, because Mike Evans got hurt 1 year and I think Godwin was hurt too. So he had to come in when Jameis Winston was still the quarterback and just threw for 500 yards a game. And I was eliminated in the fantasy playoffs. So Brashad Perriman will always be on my shit list, because why the fuck does it always have to be against me? Now we have Arizona. That's Kyler Murray. I've never liked Kyler Murray. I've always thought he has arguably had the shittiest attitude of a professional athlete I have ever seen. I think he's extremely arrogant. I think he expects things to be handed to him. I think he's an asshole. Now we have the Rams. Allen Robinson. Now hear me out. Again, fantasy related. The year he went from Chicago to the Rams, I picked him up, I mean, decently early, probably round 4 or 5, because I'm like, Allen Robinson? He's a good fucking player. He's finally gonna get out of Chicago. He's gonna have a quarterback. And that's what I realized. Allen Robinson was fucking horrible. I think he got open like 10 times the entire season. Now we've got the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo, and I mean, there's a couple of people that I have not liked through history, Debo being one of them there. But Jimmy G sucked. He sucked as a quarterback. The guy didn't care about his team. He left after signing that huge contract and didn't talk to him for like the entire offseason. It was a quarterback that was completely carried by Kyle Shanahan. And ending with Seattle, we have Richard Sherman. That's a pretty easy one too. He has always been a prick. Used to really bug me too, because this guy was a zone corner. Yes, he was a great corner, one of the best corners in the league. But you sat in the fucking zone all the time. And then would talk shit like he was all over the field, and man, did he have a big fucking mouth too. Pretty much a defensive version of Cam Newton. Oh man, I still don't like Richard Sherman. And that is also it, ladies and gentlemen, for my list of a player in every NFL team's history that I dislike the most. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. If you did and you want to show support, please do it, because you know I appreciate any and all help. And let me know on the list where we differ. Who are the players that you dislike the most? Regardless, as always, I'm going to hop off and get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And as always, I will see you in the next video.